I read that and reread it. And I was very young. Young enough that I probably shouldn't have been reading it.
Hey, you Stygian dogs. Joining me today is Russ Leach. We talk about The Atlantean, the current crowdfunding campaign, the Shadow Kingdom, Kull, Brule, Conan, and more. Make sure you check out the link in the video description to participate in the crowdfunding campaign for The Atlantean #3. And here we go. Hey, you Stygian dogs. I'm so very pleased to welcome to the channel Russ Leach. Russ, how are you?
Fine, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
What have you been up to this summer?
The usual. like you were just saying off camera, life, lots of things for my kids. My daughter's just moved into a new house. I've been training like I normally do and just getting out in the sun wherever possible.
That's right. You do karate, do you?
Yeah, I train and teach karate, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And obviously you've been busy working on The Atlantean #3.
Yes, I have. Yes, lots of that. That's always takes up a lot of my time.
So how did the whole, I am so impressed. I've said before, I love the Shadow Kingdom. This is such a wicked adaptation. It's so good, man. How did that come to be?
Well, myself, Randy, the writer, and myself, along with a guy called Glenn Fleming and several other guests, we do a couple of shows a week. We do one on a Friday morning, which is Comics by Night, and we do one on a Sunday Funnies, and we basically just go through the stuff that we love. So anything from Flash Gordon or Eisner work right the way through to modern stuff, and anything we like, we pull it up and we go through it and show it, which we think is important. People need to see lots of great comics. A lot of the stuff is stuff we take inspiration from as well. Yeah. So, personal favorites of my own, like Buscema, Kubert, those kind of pencilers and inkers, they're a big inspiration to me. So anyway, that's where it came from. Randy and myself were chatting about IP that was in the public domain, and we'd also been talking about the Conan stuff that had been done in Europe and then brought over by I can't remember the name.
Yeah, it was the Sumerian. It was a Blaze.
That's right, a Blaze. That's it. That's the publisher I was thinking of. So we were speaking about that, and that came up, and Kull came up, and he said, "Well, basically, Kull's in, he's the first ever story, which is the Shadow Kingdom, and considered to be the first real sort of sword and sorcery story, is available." I said, "Right, well, let's do it." And I happened to be at a moment where I was looking for a project. Family stuff and all kinds of life things were going on that it gave me that time to do that. So that's what I did. And we put that together, and we were so sort of into it that I suggested we should do something like a Savage Sword of Conan, where we did a black and white version, so it was quicker to produce, and it was more sort of a larger scope, a bigger format as well. And it would be some kind of road trip, as it were, sort of along the lines of something like the old Planet of the Apes the TV series, where they went from one place to the next. There was this long arc, but you went from, or Logan's Run or something like that. You had this long arc, but each individual issue would be, 50 pages of sword and sorcery adventure. And of course, we started doing that, and immediately at the same time, Titan were getting a lot of press, and they decided to do a black and white version as well, Savage Sword of Conan. So that was completely by accident. We didn't see them first or us first. It just happened, and we just happened to be coming along at the same time. And I think we're maybe in that environment now where superheroes aren't quite as prominent, and people are looking for action, adventure, and sword and sorcery fits the bill. So that's the story of how we came to start producing The Atlantean.
It does feel like there's been a resurgence in the genre. It might be biased. I know obviously I'm really into it right now, but it does seem that there's a popularity that something is going.
Yeah.
But there's,
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a rejection of superheroes, but
no.
We've had a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, that's the trouble, is we've had overkill of them, and science fiction, because Disney and Marvel and DC, they've just been throwing everything at the wall to try and because it's all been about money.
Makes
Let's
sense.
face it, it's a business. That's what it's about. It's all been about money, but it has really been quantity over quality,
Yeah.
and people are kind of a bit sort of, they've had enough. And I think another thing that may well come good soon as well is westerns as well. I just think people are looking for adventure rather than, everything's a cosmic cosmic
Interdimensional
yeah,
universe,
interdimensional
what have
terrible thing, that event that's going to happen. People are after concise, fun adventures, and I think that's
you.
where we sit.
So for you, what was the biggest challenge for defining Kull and Brule sort of in your own visual style, and letting
Yeah,
go of what Marie Severin had done in the past, things like that?
that is difficult.
Yeah.
First off, it's difficult to reach those benchmarks. Full stop.
Yeah.
I mean, Severin's work was fantastic, and then Buscema's work, and the other people that were involved in the 70s and 80s as well, because Kull they had his own book for a while, and he was in the back of Savage Sword of Conan as well, and so, and then of course the scar and the crown, the chiseled crown. So these were all things that we had to stay away from, because our version of Kull is the version of Kull from the Shadow Kingdom. So there is no IP issue. There is no public. It's completely in public domain.
Yeah.
And Randy, who was very much into it as well, we very much used the depictions and the descriptions that were there. So I've had a few comments about, because we've made Kull a very dark man.
Yeah.
He's black for
Or
all
Brule.
intents and purposes. But sorry, Brule, yeah. For all intents and purposes, and that was because of a description within the Shadow Kingdom. We took it literally, but it was also an opportunity for us to go somewhere slightly different from what had been done before. So it's not a case of, oh, we'll do this to tick a box, or we'll do this to just to be different. It's about differentiating yourself, but also staying true to the Shadow Kingdom's versions of what we read.
Yeah.
And so that was where all that started, and so we had to sort of work our way to not be those other things.
Yeah. Feels like
As for developing, it's just the style. It's just a developing. It's constantly under construction. I'm never pleased with what I've done, but that's just the artist in me. The production person in me is like, no, you got to get this done, get it out the door. It would be really nice to say, okay, I'm going to do the best artwork I've ever done, and I'm going to take 18 months over this. But that doesn't get the stories out. And at the end of the day, that's what I am. Sequential art is about telling stories. So the art kind of just comes along with it. And Randy does his best to keep the essence of what was in the Shadow Kingdom, and how the two of them were presented in that.
Yeah. Do you have a sense of how far out you've mapped things? How many issues do you have on the horizon?
We're certainly up to volume 1, which is issue 6, I think.
Okay, that's great.
So Randy's kind of working his way through. Issue 4 is very close to being finished, written, the script, and he's already plotted issue 5, and he's had this idea about where that's going. We've also had some ideas about maybe The Atlantean is a great title, because it could be anybody from Atlantis.
Yeah.
So we're creating new characters, some of them being from Atlantis, some of them being people that until now we didn't know Kull had known. And so we can use them to spin off and do other directions and have other stories. So maybe in volume 2, we would have a story where Kull wasn't there. And we just had those characters. So we're looking to kind of move in multiple directions.
Yeah,
but up to about 5 or 6, issue 5 or 6 would be the first volume, and it would be nice to sell that as an omnibus, like a 300-page plus omnibus.
I think what's wonderful has been your fulfillment. Like when people participate in the crowdfunding campaign, you're not worried about getting anything. I mean, I was so satisfied how well packed when I ordered issues 1 and 2. They came just
That's great.
in
Yeah.
great timing. The pricing is awesome, and I think what I really like is you're giving the opportunity for people to catch up on
Yeah.
every. It's not like, oh, you got to buy this. Oh, maybe you'll find it in a secondhand store. Maybe
No.
you'll get it off of Amazon. Each campaign, you have something new. That's wonderful to see.
Yeah. We want to make sure that we'd like people to be proud of having it in the collection.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We want to tell good stories. We want people to think this is a nice thing to have. We put the price point where it is. To be brutally honest, it could be more.
Yeah.
But we're aiming for more readers. That's what we want. We want people to read it, and if it's at a good price, there's more chance of people diving in and picking the books up.
Yeah,
So that's where we had that.
Yeah, it's extremely accessible. And I think I had mentioned to you just via direct message a while ago, it was neat to see it well represented at Howard Days when I was in Texas.
With
the handful.
Randy, Randy just fell over himself when you said that. Thank
Well,
you.
yeah, I mean, the handful of vendors that were there, everybody had a copy on hand for sale, so it's embraced by the
Cool.
community. There's a charitable silent auction on the first night. And I guess people had donated a couple copies and people were bidding on those. So it's neat to see it embraced by the community.
Yeah.
Howard fans, can be pretty fickle. I'm pretty welcoming, but what's been the response? Any pushback? People celebrating?
Yeah, we've had a lot of really good responses, to be honest. Everyone's enjoyed it. Like you say, we do try and deliver as close as possible, and people really like that. They trust us. But as far as the work is concerned and the stories, I've had the occasional comment about Brule.
Yeah.
I've even had comments about the fact that Colour's got breeches on.
Yeah.
But these are minor things. I've seen a few videos where people have sort of been a little confused as to why they look the way they do, why they're sort of, because they're incognito, they're out in the world, and they don't want to be seen by maybe the spies of the Serpent Nation, and that's why they look the way they are. They're a little bit rough, and people are like, why do they look like that? And it's like, well, they're incognito. But these are always minor gripes. People are really enjoying the stories, and they're enjoying the fact that it's adventurous. They're just good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. I'm just going to go through what's available on offer right now. So, I mean, the $15 US plus shipping for the single issue. Again, great price point. I'm in Canada, so shipping is always kind of dings me. But I feel like I got this for, when I got the last two, I mean, it was well within $50 Canadian for two issues, including shipping. So that's
Critical Blast do sort out the published the printing, which is done on I forget the name of it. It's a big platform, and they also sort out the fulfillment as well. And that means that we can have US and Canadian deliveries done from the States, and then I deliver everything that's over in the UK and in Europe. So we have two centers, which keeps all the prices down.
Yeah. This is great. The collector's catch up. So it's issues 1, 2, and 3. And does this one? So this is $40 US. Does this include the Shadow Kingdom? No, I think this is just
that one doesn't. No, that's just the 3 issues.
And then there's the 3x2. This is the one. This is the one that everybody wants. $45, the summer 2025 issue, plus the special omnibus edition. Like, again, just a great offering.
You get quite a few pages of strip to read through. You get the whole of the Shadow Kingdom in black and white, the first 2 issues, and it's wrapped in that gorgeous cover by Renato. What I do is I give him my pencils, and he produces a painted digital painting over the top of it. And I think we'll be using him for a while now. So great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking awesome. So something I do like to ask people whenever I have a chance to chat with them is, What is that moment of your first exposure to, I don't know, Conan or Robert E. Howard? If you go back in time, where did you first encounter?
The first moment was when I was very young.
Yeah.
Iron Shadows in the Moon.
Oh, nice.
That would be my first Conan connection, and I read that, and that was by Alcala, so it was Buscema and Alcala, and I read that and reread it, and I was very young, young enough that I probably shouldn't have been reading it, and that was my first connection, and from there, you know, honest, you know, I basically, that was where my love of it was, because I was all into comic books. Randy's been on the literary side and has read quite a lot. So when we came together, it was the perfect opportunity to do what we're doing. Buscema is probably, I would say, is my favorite artist. For all kinds of different reasons. There's so many reasons, as anybody who knows Buscema will understand. But also, I love Joe Kubert's work as well, and the flow of so much. I mean, you go back and look at so many of the older strips, Wally Wood strips, although completely different content in most cases, just the fantastic inking that went on there, and the what is it? It's Prince Valiant strips, and just all that old stuff. It's just, there's so much great work in there. But I have to say, I think the first book I was given, the first comic I was given, was Stalker by DC, and my mum gave me that, and I copied the hell out of that. Again, I was like 5 years old or something, and but then very soon after that, that's when I came to find Conan. Again, it's like maybe it's the bohemian UK lifestyle, I don't know, but my mum just said, yeah, you can have that, that's fine, and I devoured that. So that was my first interaction, and it was all Conan. But Kull came along pretty soon after that, and that book I just showed you, I've actually got several versions of it, one very tattered, but I managed to pick up the first 10 Savage Sword of Conan magazines in an auction recently, and I think I got them for $40, so I was very pleased.
That's great. What else are you working on besides the Atlantean?
Oh, that's it. Yeah, I mean, I do occasionally do a commission for someone, but I haven't really had time to do strip for anybody else, because it's all consuming. I mean, 50 pages, this is issue 3 is 54 pages, so you got to pencil it and then you got to ink it. And that takes a while. So I'd really love to do this quarterly, but that's quite a harsh schedule for 50 pages when you're penciling it and inking it. I also letter it as well, and I do the design in the publication. So I'm pretty much doing most of the work, the physical work on it. Unfortunately, it's turned into 3 times a year, but 150 pages a year plus whatever commissions I can get. I don't think it's too bad.
No, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I do hope everybody takes advantage of this crowd campaign. What happens when the crowdfund closes? I know usually it goes available outside of the funding.
Yeah, when the crowdfund closes, so we usually keep it up for a week afterwards while I'm putting the files together. So if there are any latecomers, they can come pick that up. Then that's the store's shut down, and it goes off to print. So it should be off to print at the end of the second week in September, and then it will start going out for delivery as soon as it gets back. So as soon as we get the books back, they go out for delivery. So I've put down as an estimated sort of first week of October. That's when people should start getting their books.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me, man. Great to talk to you.
No problem. Thank you for having me on. Thanks for your time.
Take it easy, you Stygian dog.
Cheers.
My thanks again to Russ Leach for joining me. He and Randy Zimmerman are doing such a great job on the series. The crowdfunding campaign for The Atlantean #3 is drawing to a close. So check out the link in the video description to participate. Grab the Shadow Kingdom. Grab The Atlantean 1, 2, and 3. You won't be disappointed. These are the continuing adventures of Kull and Brule. It's sword and sorcery fun that demands to be read. Thanks for watching, liking, consider subscribing, and until next time, take it easy, you snitching dogs.